One take, one shot. This is the Raw review where I do it immediately following the last episode of whatever was on. That way you get my raw, visceral reaction immediately following the show. And, yeah. How do I feel about this Raw? Well, they buried LA Knight. I mean, maybe they, was it a burial? It was definitely story driven, and they destroyed him. They murdered him. And it like, I don't know. I was more mad on Friday, to tell you the truth, because it made no sense for me why they tapped him out. At least here tonight, it took like 5 dudes to beat him up. So he was kind of protected. The thing that was crazy, though, is, so Logan Paul is like, he attacks Rey Mysterio out of nowhere, right? He attacks Rey out of nowhere. LA Knight comes running out. This is in the middle of the show, and he saves Rey Mysterio, and he's like, that's a legend, and he helps him to the back, and he says, I'm gonna fight you, Logan Paul, later. And so they have a match. It's whatever. The mystery man comes out too. The mystery man's gonna come out 2 times tonight. The hooded figure from War Games. Don't know why we're not gonna reveal this now. It's just like, now we're just dragging it out for the sake of dragging things out. But he attacked Rey once, and then he attacks LA Knight during his match, which does cost LA Knight the match. And then LA Knight's gonna get tsunamied and speared, and he just gets total beatdown. Nobody comes out to help LA Knight. CM Punk's not in the building. Jey Uso, we'll talk Jey Uso later, but Jey Uso has been declared a loser. Literally told that he's been getting too many L's, so his big brother had to step in. So now Jey Uso's in the tag team division. LA Knight is lonesome against the Vision, and total beatdown. And they kind of, I don't think they stretcher him out, but they like help him to the back. And then Braun Breaker starts going off, right? He starts going off. He makes fun of CM Punk. New CM Punk is just too much of a nice guy. He wants the old CM Punk. He says he's going to take the championship, and he's going to take his wife, which was, that was a pretty good burn. But he did it last week also. So next time we have a good Braun Breaker promo, maybe don't mention the wife, because it's like, oh my god, did he say that? But if you say it every week, then it's no longer, oh my god, did he say that? The thing that I was just like dumbfounded with is we cut back to LA Knight just like getting carried back there, and then Bronson Reed and Logan Paul are just like, screw this, we're gonna go and beat him up more, which they then do. And I'm just waiting. I'm like, something's gotta happen. Where's CM Punk? Maybe CM Punk is actually here, or maybe someone else is coming out. Maybe there is Cody Rhodes. I don't know. Obafemi was in the building. Maybe Obafemi's gonna jump the barrier, but no, just nobody comes out. And they put LA Knight on like the on a car, and we have Bronson Reed jump like he did with Braun Strowman. So like, a lot of people are probably gonna think, oh my god, they just ricocheted him, because when Ricochet was written off out of the company, they pretty much put him through a car, and that was it for Ricochet. I don't think LA Knight's written out of the company, but he's probably written off TV until basically Royal Rumble. And now CM Punk, though, will have no allies whatsoever when he comes back. And the mystery man's still not revealed. I don't know. It didn't seem as unfiltered, as raw as when Bronson Reed attacked Seth Rollins or Braun Strowman before. This one just seemed very like, I don't know, just sanitized for some reason to me. Maybe it's because it happened to my guy. I don't know. And LA Knight just experienced a total humiliation on Friday. Again, I don't think this was like, oh my god, he's like... The only reason why I'm like, well, he's kind of buried is because of all the things leading up to this. If this was just a beatdown without his loss to Gunther last Friday or anything like that, it would be different. But the fact is, he's just like, they beat him down twice. Once in the ring, and then they went back there to just beat him up again. So it was just kind of a head scratcher. I don't know. I would have wrote things a little differently. I probably would have wrote things a little differently. I don't need that. I don't need that surprise returning pop at the Rumble. I liked when Steve Austin would, like, leading into the Rumble, he would just attack everybody because it was every man for himself. So literally, he just started attacking everybody. I would have liked that kind of energy from LA Knight as opposed to, I'm going to get beat down and then 5 weeks later I'll just return at the Rumble. I'd rather LA Knight just, like, literally attacking anybody and everybody. Good guy, bad guy, don't matter. Everyone in between. But, what do I know? What do I know? So that was the end of Raw. Very just, I don't know, just, I was like, oh, wow, nobody came to help him. Okay, yeah. So we start Raw. We start out Raw with Gunther. Gunther comes out. And he says that, he says the same things he says to everybody when it's a solo promo. I love Gunther. I really do. I even love Gunther promos when he's like talking with somebody else in the ring. He has this really, like, smug look about him. But when he's by himself, he cuts one really good promo, but that one promo is the promo he does for everyone, whether it's Jay before WrestleMania, Goldberg before his retirement match. He says, I'm gonna bully you, I'm gonna beat you, the ring is sacred, and blah 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 blah, and that's pretty much it. And that's what he did. He delivers it really well, but, like, it's like the third or fourth time I heard it this year, so I don't know. He's gonna bully John Cena, and the story here is he's gonna try to make John Cena tap, even though John Cena has tapped 4 times in his career. I said 3. He's tapped to 3 people 4 times. Kurt Angle twice, Chris Jericho once, and Chris Benoit 1 time as well. It was before, though, I'm pretty sure it was before he became the saluting John Cena. We have Io Sky. She beats Kairi Sane to almost, like, remember when this was, like, such a hot, huge feud just, like, a month ago? It's, like, almost like they dragged it out so much that it's lost all momentum. It's like, okay, we're going to see Rhea and Io come out. They're going to hug and pretty much, like, hang all over each other for the next, until they leave. And Kairi and Asuka, they were, like, doing their thing, but at one point, Io beats up, punches Asuka, and that allows Io to win. And it's like, where's that heat? Where's that fire? And you could say, well, you know, Rhea did get injured, and that kind of stalled things. Whose fault is that? Just because Rhea got injured didn't mean that Io had to be written off TV, so this whole feud could just, like, kind of poof. It was like, they could have kept it going. They could have said that the Kabuki Warriors put Rhea in the hospital and Io was fighting to revenge her, but couldn't because she was always outnumbered, and then Rhea came back and the feud could just still be going. It's still hot, but no. Rhea, like, boots Asuka, they win, and then they're just hugging in the ring. That's it. So yeah, that's what happened there. Logan Paul says, there was a funny bit earlier where Logan Paul's like, hey, did you see what Ray did? And they're like, do you want, and they get up, they're like, well, let's go beat him up, I guess, the Bronze. And he's like, no, we're good. And he's like, I got their back like they got mine. And Paul Heyman's like, oh yeah, you got their back. Okay, here's some brass nuts. Have at it, kid. And then everything I already said happened throughout the show. Mystery opponent, don't know. War Raiders versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. New Day on the outside, and thank God for the New Day. They were the most entertaining aspect of this match, in my opinion. I don't know. I just don't like the War Raiders. They're very talented. I can see it. I don't connect with them. I don't hate them, but I don't like them. So, like, even worse, I have no feelings for them. And then they lose, and then the New Day kind of get in their face, but then the yeet starts. The yeets. Jimmy and Jay, they come down. What I didn't like about this is literally, as they come down, just the 5 dudes, the New Day with Big G and AJ and Dragon Lee just stand there as the Usos come down. Why would they just stand there? Why would they just stand there the whole time? It takes about 4 minutes, and then they run it back even. It's just, like, kind of ridiculous that they would stand there. They get in the New Day's face, and one punch knocks out the New Day. Like, not knock out, but just knocks them out of the ring, and they're like, that's it, they're done. I mean, this was one of the greatest tag team rivalries of the 2010s, and it was treated as a joke. It sucks that the New Day are so undervalued at this point in their careers, because honestly, today's what, the 8th? Wasn't it the 7th of last year that they kicked Big E out of the New Day in one of the best heel turns and biggest fumbles of a heel turn of all time? Like, that was such an amazing heel turn. It's the 1-year anniversary, basically, and all we get is a punch out of the ring. Honestly, what should have happened was the New Day should have had a celebration of their 11-year history while bringing in Big G and call back that. And then the Usos could have came out because they're friends. They made friends with Big E, and that's how that could have started. But no. They just come out, they basically punch out the New Day, and then they look at AJ Styles and Lee. Lee holds up the title because that's what you're supposed to do nowadays to start a feud. Just hold up your title. And, yeah, they're like, we're coming for you. Not to mention, before all the fisticuffs actually happen, Jimmy Uso pretty much buried Jey Uso. He was like, I was watching last week, L. He got an L with the John Cena. He got an L for the championship. He got an L. Jimmy Uso said, I couldn't take it anymore. We're re-entering the tag team division. He literally said, we are entering the tag team division because Jey Uso was losing too much. And Jey Uso was like, yeah, but we're back. I was like, whoa. The Jey Uso experiment is officially over, or even worse, I'm afraid that I think what'll happen is they'll beat the New Day, become number 1 contenders, probably at Royal Rumble or something. They'll have a matchup that keeps Jey out of the Rumble, and they'll lose, and Jey will crash on Jimmy, and then we go to WrestleMania 42, Jimmy versus Jey 2, with Jimmy now the good guy, Jey now the bad guy. I hope not. That match sucked. That's like one of the worst WrestleMania matches. When I think of Jey versus Jimmy at WrestleMania 40, it always reminds me of Snooki WrestleMania 27. Oh my gosh, that's not good company. Is it WrestleMania 27? I think that was Michael Cole, Jerry Lawler. I don't know. It's just their match sucked, and I don't know. It's just interesting that they literally got back together because Jimmy Uso thought Jey Uso was losing too much, and Jey was just like, yeah, I was losing too much. So, okay. But next week, Usos versus New Day. It would be way more impactful if they weren't treating the New Day as jokes, but they do. And it sucks because the New Day have they're so good on the mic. They're so entertaining. I don't understand why we don't push the New Day more. So good on the mic. But the War Raiders, once they lost, they were just out. Stephanie Vakir came out. This was actually probably the best Stephanie Vakir promo I've seen on the main roster so far. She's a good wrestler, but doesn't have she very much lacks character depth, so I was happy that she did some talking today. Then Nikki Bella comes out, and Nikki Bella's like, first off, wow, and everybody, you suck, you don't deserve me, so that was kind of cool. But then Raquel Rodriguez attacked Nikki. And then she got in the ring and got in Stephanie's face. At first, I'm like, wait a second. Didn't Liv go after Stephanie last week? And Raquel and Roxanne were supposed to go after the tag team titles because both were handed the tag team titles. So at first I was like, did they just forget? But then when we come back from commercial, Liv is like, what you doing? I thought like you didn't say anything. And Raquel's like, what, I gotta say something? So Raquel has now become her own woman. She is like out of the shadow of Liv now. And Liv's like, no, you don't gotta, fine, good. Go get that championship. So looks like midweek they changed their minds, and now Roxanne Perez and Liv are joining forces, and they actually went out and had a matchup against Lyra Valkyria. Well, Roxanne Perez had a matchup with Lyra, and Bayley outside, and we have Liv outside. Liv will eventually interfere. Bayley will try to help or whatever, but no, Liv will interfere. Roxanne will beat Lyra. Good matches, but with how hot the women's division was last week, and just how I don't know, mundane the women tag team division was this week, kind of a letdown. And I think that's it. Yeah, and LA Knight got completely just destroyed pretty much throughout the entire night. Finn Balor had a cool line because Logan Paul, when he attacked Ray, he was like, Ray was supposed to be fighting Finn Balor, and Finn was just like, hey, easy night for me, huh? So, I did not really enjoy this Raw. Not because, like, SmackDown, it wasn't like just... I don't know what it was. I don't mind the heroes getting completely beat down. I mean, if you look at the channel, I'm usually pretty much, I side with the faces. But I don't know, there was just something. Maybe, I don't know. I'm going to give this Raw, I'll give it a 5 or a 6. I'll do a 6. Probably deserves a 5. 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 6. I don't know. You tell me what it should be. 5 or 6. Tell me in the comments below. All right, boys. All right, girls. I yawned 4 times. Yeah, just 4 times. It was okay. If you're a really big LA Knight fan, you might not want to watch it. Problem is, Steve Austin used to get beat up all the time, and The Rock used to, like, I don't mind that, but LA Knight probably won't ever get his revenge. That's the problem. If Stone Cold got beat up like this, he would return. Sorry about that. He would return the next week and beat up everybody. But I don't see that happening for LA Knight. That's the problem. LA Knight got beat up, and that's it. He gets beat by Gunther. He taps from Gunther, and then he doesn't even acknowledge Gunther on tonight's show. He's going to get completely beat down, and when he returns, I don't know. He's not going to do nothing. At best, he might get a WrestleMania match against Bronson Reed, maybe. But it's like, we're going to have to draw that out for a really long time. So, I don't know. Boys, girls, let me know. 5 or 6 in the comments below. See ya, bye.